Good morning and welcome. It is Tuesday, May 19th, 9 a.m., which means it's time for our regular session of the Madera County Board of Supervisors meeting. I'm going to go ahead and call this to order. Council, do we have any additions to the agenda?
Chair, members of the board, there are no requested additions to today's agenda. Thank you.
Can you please read our closed session items into the record?
Yes, for closed session today, there are two items. One is under Government Code Section 54957.6. You have a conference with your labor negotiators, your agency designated representatives are your Assistant County Administrative Officer, Joel Boguet, your Director of Human Resources, Shanika Dixon, and your Human Resources Manager, Sabrina Mendez, to talk about all units of employee organizations that exist in the county, including unrepresented employees, all the classifications, but not elected officials. The second item is under Government Code Section 54957 to talk about the appointment of the Director of Public Works of Madera County. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Do we have any public comment on these items in the room or online?
None online.
Seeing no public comment, we're going to retire into closed session.
We
All
are ready.
right, it is 10 a.m., which means it is time for our open session. Council, do we have any reportable action out of closed session?
Chair, there is no reportable action from your closed session.
Excellent.
Thank you.
At this time, I'll look to my colleagues for anybody that would like to open and close the meeting in memory of. Seeing none, we're going to go ahead and move on to the invocation and the Pledge of Allegiance. So I'll ask Scott Dixon with Madera Avenue Bible Church to join us. And then I would ask Sheriff Pogue to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Good morning. So just real quick, guys, this is the third year in a row I got to do this, and it's an honor and a privilege. You guys probably wouldn't believe that 10 years ago I was on the streets of Fresno with a needle in my arm. And so God is good. So thank you for this opportunity. Heavenly Father, we're grateful, Lord, to come here this morning, Lord. We want to lift up before you the business, Father, of this board, Father, of this county, of this community, Father. And we just ask that you would continue to bless and watch over us, Father. Lord, we thank you for the first responders. Lord, we thank you for the people that are working, cleaning up the parks and the streets. And Father, everybody in between, from the teachers to everyone, Lord. We thank you, God. Father, we pray that you would continue, Lord, to watch over us. We pray that you would help us, Father, understand how to serve each other better. And Father, to have a servant's heart. God, please watch over and bless this meeting. And we just thank you, Lord, for this time. In Jesus' name, amen.
Thanks. Good call, Sheriff.
Everybody join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Ready? Begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Excellent. Thank you for that, and welcome, Madera High Robotics Team. At this time, I want to look to the public for any public comment they may have. The first 15 minutes of each regular session are set aside for members of the public to address the board on any matter under the jurisdiction of the board, but not appearing on the agenda. The board will not take action on any item presented under public comment. Speakers are limited to 3 minutes. Anyone addressing the board is asked to print their name clearly on the speaker sheet at the podium and state their name and county of residence for the record. Thank you. Welcome.
Good morning, Chairman and members of the board. Amy Toller with your Animal Services. I'm here to kind of spread the news of some great news at the shelter, as well as some events we'll be having for this summer. So first of all, our first great news is that Madera County Animal Services is now equipped with a transfer van to help support our shelter in transporting animals to and from their spay and neuter appointments, to transport animals to rescues, to help with our events, microchip clinics, our vaccine clinics. We've been using our animal control officer trucks for the past over a year now. So that takes up our officers' time in the field and moving animals with our trucks to and from Fresno, to and from Chowchilla. So this is going to help us huge. This is also going to, like I said, help us with our rescue support, getting the animals out of the shelter and to areas that we couldn't get to from before. So wonderful news. Also, our microchip clinics. We are gearing up and we'll be on the road again. So we're going to be doing a few mobile microchip clinics. We're gearing up because 4th of July is upon us, and as we're planning for our barbecues, let's plan on getting our animals safe, microchipped, and prepared for this holiday. So with these microchip clinics, like I said, we'll be on the road. Our first clinic is going to be this Thursday to Soro Viejo at the farmer's market from 5 to 8. We'll also have adoptable animals there for their pet-friendly event, and we'll also be doing our licensing there too as well. We'll also be visiting Oakhurst, North Fork, Riverstone, Ranchos, Chowchilla, Courthouse Park, and Parkwood areas. So please follow us on social media, our website. We'll be updating with those dates and times where we're going to be. But if you cannot make it to our events on the road, please come by our shelter Monday through Friday from 10 to 4, or on Saturdays from 10 to 2. Get your microchips done. It's free. Registration's free. It's an easy, permanent ID for your animals so we can get them home. We're also still with Petco Vaccinated and with Loved initiative, so we're offering still free vaccines for your personal pets. We'll be at the fairgrounds June 11th from 8:30 to 10:30 to vaccinate your personal pets. So if your pets are due for boosters, it is a wonderful time to get your pets vaccinated. Like I said, it is free because Petco has given us a grant to do so. So if you have pets, please bring them in, especially your puppies and kittens. They're susceptible to diseases, and this will help them. It'll also help them keep them out of shelter. We're saving the best for last, guys. We're on time. June 6th, Super Adoption, our second annual huge Super Adoption. This is free adoptions. It is free because it's sponsored by Cal Animals. It's cleared the shelter days. There's 140 shelters in California that are signed up for this. We are one of them. So all adoptions are sponsored. That is their spay and neuter, microchipping, rabies, vaccinations. It's all paid for. It is all free. Come adopt your best friend. It is a tropical theme this year. I know last year was Western. It is tropical. Feel free to dress to impress. Enjoy our splash zones with the doggies at play. Bring your own personal pets if you like, if you want to do a meet and greet with one of our pets. Also, we will have microchipping available that day as well, but please join us. Oh, thank you.
Excellent. Thank you, Amy. I always appreciate you keeping the board and the public up to date on everything going on in animal services. I also just want to commend you for all the great work you do with animal services, doing more with less, as always. So thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
Welcome, April.
He already knows my name. I've been here that much. So about 5 minutes ago, I found out that today is Supervisor McCauley's birthday.
1 minute. She gets 1 minute.
I get 1 minute. So we can sing happy birthday to Supervisor McCauley, right? So if everybody would join me, ready? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Bobby. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.
For that, I'm officially as red as a tomato, so I appreciate that.
Welcome to the 40s Club.
I think he just entered his 5th decade. That even sounds older, yeah.
These kids are like, what?
Welcome, Dominic.
40 is old.
Good morning, Mr. Chair, members of the board. I'm here to sing you happy birthday as well. You don't want to hear that, trust me. Today will be my last board meeting as your director. I want to thank you for entrusting me with the responsibility of leading such a talented and dynamic group of public works professionals. I am truly grateful to have been given this opportunity, and it was an honor and a privilege to serve your board and the residents of this county. So I just want to say thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dominic.
Best of luck.
All right, and it looks like we do have some public comment online. So we'll start with MJ.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Good morning.
All right.
Can you hear me?
This is MJ King. I reside in Coarse Gold.
All right. This is MJ King. I reside in Coarse
For
Gold.
about 14 years now. And it's
I've
a
been
very
living
nice
here with my
place.
family for about 14 years now, and it's a very nice place.
However, as you all know, Highway 41.
However,
is
as you
a
all know,
mess.
Highway
And
41 is a mess.
The county has recently begun widening.
And the county
Highway
has recently
41, a
Widening Highway
section down
41.
in the valley, a significant section. However,
A section down in the valley, a significant
highway
section.
in the foothills is also.
However, the highway in the foothills
terrible condition and needing work.
is also in terrible condition and needed
Caltrans receives a significant amount of money from the
work.
National
Since
Park
Caltrans
Service
receives
for
a
the
significant amount of
maintenance
money
Highway 41,
from the National Park Service
which
for the maintenance
Caltrans
of
has not done.
Highway 41, which Caltrans has not. John, I would suggest one.
The National Park Service to receive the
Communicating
funds
directly with the
maintain
National Park
Highway
Service.
41 directly from
To receive the funds to
Park Service
maintain the
and
Highway
remove
41
Caltrans
directly
from the loop, 'cause Caltrans
from the
is
Park Service and
obviously,
remove Caltrans from the loop,
distracted by a number of items,
whose Caltrans is
including
obviously
high-speed rail.
distracted
And
by a number of
item
items,
two,
including high-speed rail.
I would strongly suggest that the county
And
litigate
item two, I would strongly suggest that the county
for
litigate
failure to maintain Highway 41, which has
Caltrans for failure to
virtually
maintain
no
Highway 41,
emergency
which has virtually
lanes,
no
no shoulders,
emergency lanes, virtually no
few
shoulders,
left-hand
extremely.
turn lanes, very
few left-hand turn lanes,
rails, and is known
very few
to be
guardrails,
one of the most dangerous highways in the country. Thank you.
and is known to be one of the most dangerous highways in the country. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments, MJ. We did have a bit of an audio issue there, but I think your comments were heard, so we appreciate you making them. And if you're interested in following up with me after the meeting, I'd be happy to discuss Highway 41 with you. And we have one additional comment from Lynette, but I'm going to ask Lynette to hold for just a moment while we figure out our audio issues. All right, it looks like we're good. Lynette, whenever you're ready.
Good morning, Board Supervisors. My name is Lynette Lomeli. I'm the Executive Director at the Madera Coalition for Community
Good morning,
Justice.
Board Supervisors.
I am
My name is
taking
Lynette
these 3 minutes
Lomeli.
to-
I'm the
Lynette, if you
Executive
could
Director
hold
at
for
the
just a
Madera
moment, we're
Coalition
still
for
having some
Community
audio
Justice.
issues.
I'm taking these 3 minutes to, Sure.
Lynette, you can go
Yes.
ahead.
Okay. I believe my timer's still going. Thank you. So good morning. Like I said, my name is Lynette Lomeli. I'm the Executive Director at the Madera Coalition for Community Justice. I am taking this time to invite the greater community and re-invite our board supervisors to our Madera Matters Community Forum happening this Thursday, May 21st, from 6 to 8 p.m. at the Pan American Community Center. The topic of this particular community forum, in partnership with the NAACP Madera chapter and the REN Collective, who is a national organization of former public defenders and attorneys that have done a lot of research and data findings on our flat fee legal system here with our current public defender's office in the county. I do want to invite and implore community to attend. There's going to be a lot of information that is discussed at this particular community forum related to our high incarceration rates and how we are way higher than our surrounding counties in prison and jail incarceration rates, and just how overall our flat fee legal system is impacting our community. I also want to, and like I said, re-invite our board supervisors to this particular community forum. Your attendance will absolutely provide a lot more context to the conversation. We anticipate having a Q&A session, certainly to have a further discussion with our community members, to be asking questions and really help our community move forward in organizing and working with our board supervisors to best approach this contract that we know is going to be up next month, June 2026. So again, inviting all community and encouraging all board supervisors to attend. Please reach out to me. I will reach out to everybody else with another swift reminder. But yes, please, if you can attend, again, it's May 21st, Thursday, 6 to 8 p.m. at the Pan American Center. Thank you.
Thank you, Lynette. Appreciate your comments. Do we have any additional public comment in the room or online?
None online.
Okay, hearing none, we're going to move on to our consent calendar. All matters listed under the consent calendar are to be considered routine and will be enacted by one motion unless an item is pulled for further discussion. Do we have anything we'd like to pull for further discussion this morning?
Yes, Chair, I'd like to pull item 7B.
Okay.
And I'd like to pull 7F.
Okay, let's start with item 7B.
Yes, great. Thank you, Chair. I just think this is important for members of the public to know about purchasing agent agreements, because we have a certain threshold that county staff can enter into agreements outside of the board. So I think for transparency purposes, I think it's important to highlight what these agreements are, and I encourage, and all of the agreements are on the backup of this item, so anyone who wishes to see what these items are, see what these agreements are that are not necessarily in public view of these board meetings, please go on there and look, and if you have any questions about anything, please feel free to reach out to your representative and go over them with you, because there are a lot of these agreements on here. And I want to make sure that members of the public are aware of what your county is doing and how they're spending your precious tax dollars. I think it's important. So that's all I have.
Okay, thank you for that. Let's move to item 7F.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. Along those lines, Sarah, could you please provide an explanation for the purchase of this tent that we see on 7F,
Yes.
please?
Oh, that's quite loud. Hi, I'm Sarah BOS, the Director of Public Health. And this tent would be purchased under our hospital preparedness program, which is a grant, so it has no effect on the general fund. And the purpose of that funding source is to make sure that our hospitals are prepared for emergencies. And at this time, Madera Community Hospital does not have a tent like this to be able to expand their capacity in emergency. And so the public can take a look at the specs of the tent in the agenda item, but it's able to be erected really, really quickly and be responsive to emergencies at the hospital.
Okay, and then I guess my question is wouldn't, because it's $55,000, and so, you know, when I'm thinking about that, I'm like, can we rent it, or is there another way to assist? Because, you know, half the time it'll sit in a storage, or it'll get lost, or I just don't understand why we would, and I understand that, you know, in events of emergency, we would need it, but it seems excessive for a tent.
I do understand that the cost is pretty high. We did go through the process of looking at the different options, and that is the purpose of this particular funding source. They put these things in place so that you do not have to wait the time that it would take to source when needing to rent, that it can be pulled out and set up immediately. Because if we have med surge, we can't really wait to put a rental in place and get it delivered.
What about renting a building? I know that during COVID, we rented the fairgrounds. When you're up in the mountains, you could rent the community center. I think we have options.
We can certainly explore those options with the hospital as well. The standard is to utilize tents such as this so that it's on site, and that is easier for medical staff to be all in the same place, especially for the other pieces that get utilized, like the pharmacy and anesthesia. And so there are other components that if it can be on site at the hospital, it is advantageous to patient care.
Any additional comments, questions? Sarah, knowing that this is likely going to be used in a disaster, if the item goes through, is this something you've talked with the Office of Emergency Services about, how this facility could be utilized? I know the Sheriff's Office works very closely with the Office of Emergency Services and sharing resources, and oftentimes we can find some reimbursement from the state in utilizing those resources. So is that a conversation you've had with OES and the Sheriff's Office?
Yes, so the coalition that we utilized, all of the partners were consulted about the selection of this purchase, and so it is going to be stored by public health and inventoried by public health so that we are able to deploy it for other purposes if the need arises.
But specifically, if it's deployed in a disaster, I think my hope would be is that we're coordinating with the Sheriff's Office to ensure that we can get some reimbursements from the Office of Emergency Services. Is that?
Yes.
Okay.
So The tent would be owned because the grant is providing that, but in terms of the services that are provided utilizing the tent, we absolutely would leverage FEMA funding and other dollars to cover the costs of those services.
Okay. All right.
I'd like to pull that item and vote on it separately.
Okay, thank you for that. So we're going to go, I think we're going to start with the consent calendar, and then we'll move on to 7F in a separate vote. And so at this time, I'm going to look for any public comment on the consent calendar. Any online or in the room?
None online.
Hearing none, we'll bring it back for action.
I'll move to approve with.
Second?
Okay, we got a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
He said it.
Supervisor Gonzalez?
Yes.
Supervisor Poitras?
Aye.
Supervisor Wamha?
Yes.
Chair McCauley?
Yes.
Vote passes 4-0.
Okay, now we'll look to 7F, and we'll look to the public for any public comment they may have on 7F, either in the room or online.
None online.
Okay, now we'll bring it back to the board for action.
Move to approve.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. Roll call vote, please.
Supervisor Wamha?
Yes.
Supervisor Poitras?
Aye.
Supervisor Gonzalez?
No.
Chair McCauley?
Yes,
Vote passes 3-1.
thank you for that. All right, at this time, we're going to move on to our discussion items, and we'll start with a great item here, which is 8A. And I'm going to look to my colleague Supervisor Poitras to lead us in this presentation.
Board of Supervisors Department presentation of a proclamation, presentation of recognition of the Madera High School robotics team winning their 4th World Championship.
Very good. Well, thank you very much. I mean, what a great day in Madera. We're celebrating the world champions as well as Bobby McCauley's birthday. I mean, it just doesn't get much better than that.
Great.
But hi, everybody. I'm highly honored today to recognize our Madera, our Madtown robotics team, 1323. And I'll tell you, on a worldwide basis now, when people hear 1323, they quake in fear because they know that there's some Madera Madtown participants on their trail that are going to leave them in the dust. So I'd like to recognize you. First of all, you had a record of 69-4. So excellent, excellent. And those 4 losses actually allowed you to make the necessary adjustments. So whenever you got to that final round for the championship, you were able to make it. You are the California District San Francisco champion, Central Valley champion, Northern California District champion, and the 2026 world champion with Alliance Partners. How many teams, for those of you who don't know the answer, how many teams do you think participated worldwide? 6? All right, 6, all right. Any more? 50? All right. Again, for those of you who don't know, try 600 teams. And we won the championship here with our Madtown team. Also, the Quality Award, the Autonomous Award, the Industrial Design Award. So, I mean, these guys just didn't even perform well. They looked good. So, and they participated in a 3-day international competition in Houston where they won it. The team, as I mentioned Madtown, so I didn't say Madera High, South High, Torres High, even though I understand most people are from Torres High. But it's Madtown. It's our high schools here in Madera, Madera Unified, and working together to get here. So with that, I would like to, again, recognize that we're the first robotics world championship 4 times in 2019, 2023, 25, and 26, so 2 in a row. And most of the team's mentors are former Madera Unified graduates. So with that, I would like to ask all our team members to line up in front of the podium there so people can see you, because they want to see what a world championship, what world champions look like. You know, we don't see those every day here. So I'd like to everybody stand up and kind of line up over there. See the gentleman at the end, maybe the first one, line up there, and then just kind of go around the arc. It's okay.
And while they assemble, I want to look to my colleagues for any additional
All right.
comments.
Supervisor, what about their coach or their leader?
Thank you, because we're just going to invite Coach Ruben Reyes, the head coach of the robotics team, and I've got a couple of questions for Coach. So Coach, come on up. Oh, okay, there you are. All right, so. So Coach, we've got a little video to show here, but before we show that, I've got a question. So we've got 2 championships in a row. Okay, when does it become a dynasty?
Just to clarify, I'm the advisor. The head coach over there is RC. But yeah, I think this is the 4th time, so we're already there, I would think. The record is 5 championships, so I think if we get there, that'd be pretty awesome.
Okay, so that's dynasty. Not so much right now. This is pre-dynasty.
Yeah. I think once we get one more, we'll be there.
Okay, great. And again, before we show the video, tell us what one of the primary impression that you had, the most impressive impression that you had of this group and what the accomplishment was.
I think it's definitely all the hard work they put in. Starting when the season starts in January, the students are at the shop from 4 p.m. to 10 p.m. every school day, and on weekends they go as early as, one weekend we did as early as 10 a.m., and they stay until 10 p.m. So they put a ton of time into this robots, into this competition.
And one other question, because of this pre-dynasty status, do you have to have special security? Because I'm sure there's other schools from around the world that are sending spies over to see what you're doing. You know, how does this Madtown team do it, you know?
So it's funny you say, like, when we go to the competitions, like, all the other teams come up to our team asking for shirts, asking for pictures, asking for autographs. So definitely, it's funny. It's funny to see.
Well, that's great. Well, we're super proud of you guys. So we have a video here, so I'm going to ask Alex on to hit it.
Are we ready?
And let's have some AI interpretation too.
From Madera, California, Madera Robotics.
3, 2, 1, go!
13-23, Madtown shooting.
This is the final match, winner take all. Madtown Robotics in the middle trying to collect with 3 seconds left. Daily opening it even bigger, and then it's time here on Einstein. We are going to crown a winner here, 2026 World Champion.
From Madera, California, Madtown Robotics.
Very good. Well, thank you very much. And Ruben, is there anything else you'd like to mention right now? If not, how about, do you think that you might have 1 or 2 of the world champions who might like to say something? So I'm going to let you select who they are. How do we turn this on? Very good. So go ahead and select a couple of your world champions and have them say a few words about their thoughts.
Okay, this is our team captain, Miguel, right here.
Hello, as Reyes said, I am the team captain. My name is Miguel Angel Vargas, and I'm a senior, so I've been on the team for 4 years, so obviously from our second win in 23, and obviously when we win again in 25, and then this year again in 26. I think it's just amazing to be on this team. So much things I've learned and so much things I learned, so much time I put into it. I think it helped me grow as a person, so I don't know what else to say. That's something.
Right, that's great.
We got a man, our co-driver.
My name is Emmanuel Perez. I've had the same time as Miguel. I've been on the team since 23. Honestly, it's been pretty amazing. not just like going to the competitions, but all the effort that we put into it. Like everybody gets like really tired, but eventually once we win, you know, we all know that all that hard work that we put in like goes to something greater. So overall, I don't know. I really like going out with a bang. You know, my last year, I like this year's game. It was pretty fun. So hopefully the team is able to put up the same performance next year and the year after and so on. So.
Well, that's great. So usually we don't do this, but when we have a championship here, we do have open mic. Is there anybody else who'd like to say anything? Oh, look, I think, didn't you? Yeah, you. I think you just went like this, didn't you? Or did you not? You were just scratching? Okay, never mind. All right, I guess not. But anyway, very good. So I'll hand this over. There you go. So with that, before I present the certificate, we also have a State of California recognition. We have a representative from Senator Ana Caballero's office, and so come on up, and a familiar face there. All right. Arturo, you have the mic.
Thank you, Supervisor Poitras, and thank you, Board of Supervisors. We're currently working on one at the Senate floor. The Madera Math and Robotics did have the opportunity to come to the Senate floor last year, but till we get there, I appreciate the invitation to present the certificate of recognition to the Math and Robotics. So I'm going to quickly read the certificate. On the occasion of recognizing Math and Robotics, also known as First Robotics Competition Team 1323, for its continued accomplishments and representation of Madera County through science, technology, engineering, and mathematics education, whereas students' robotics and engineering programs create opportunities for innovation, collaboration, and hands-on learning that support academic engagement and prepare students for future educational and professional pathways. And whereas Math and Robotics, founded in 2004 and bringing together students from multiple Madera County high schools, is being recognized in connection with its continued achievements in regional and international robotics competition, and for representing the Madera community through excellence in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics-related programs and the events. Now, therefore, the Office of Senator Ana M. Caballero hereby recognizes Math and Robotics in acknowledgement of its accomplishments, continued student engagement, and representation of Madera County within the robotics and STEM community. Congratulations.
Excellent. Thank you so much. And right now, I'm going to ask if any of my colleagues have any words that they'd like to share at this time. If not, that's fine. And Chair, can I be so bold as through the Chair, are there any public comments? All right, there's the public comments. So with that, let's go ahead and present our proclamation.
Yes. Shorty's in the front. Squeeze it.
All right, so let's squeeze in here a little bit. Either go like this or, do the basketball pose like this. Let's get the Alan in here. All right. Hey, now you guys, come on. I need to get back there and hand this to Captain, I'm going to ask you to hold on to this and display it.
Can't even tell Rob wasn't on the team. Okay, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Right here, one more over here. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Nice.
Thank you. Very good.
I'd be curious to know if there are students from other
very humble champions.
What? Weird? I know, but if someone like
All right. So at this time, we're going to move on to item 8B, and I want to invite our friends from CAL FIRE to come on up and join us for a presentation of proclamation recognizing May 26th as Madera Wildfire Awareness Month. Good morning.
We have chief, and chief. All right.
And the chiefs. Good morning, Chair, members of the board, CAO, County Council. I'm Chris Trinidad. I'm your unit chief and Madera County Fire Chief. What a great opportunity for us to be here today. I am going to pass it over to Chief McComb, and we're going to give an update on state of the county, state of the state a little bit, preparedness levels, and then at the end we're going to talk about an exciting position that we're going to be bringing to the county and to the state, and we're interviewing for that on Thursday. But right now I'll kick it over to Chief McComb.
Excellent.
Good morning, board. Chair McCauley, congratulations.
Thank you.
A little update just from an operational perspective. As the Deputy Chief of Operations for MMU, we oversee 3 counties, Merced, Mariposa, and Madera. The last couple weeks has picked up a lot in fire activity, so we've, for the most part, withstood the red flag warning. However, it did, I'll say, put us into a state of drawdown at times, but we leveraged our auto aid agreements with our neighbors. And you know, yesterday we had 7 acres on the Barinda Slough. We used Chowchilla City. We've used Fireball. We've maximized all of our agreements throughout on the valley floor. From a standpoint in the state lands, so we've got every facility under CAL FIRE staffed at this point with our fire engines. Two bulldozers are staffed. We've got our hand crews. And the one thing that is on board now is all the aircraft in the area. So this year we've been granted another exclusive use helicopter out of Mariposa Airport. That's a Type 1 helicopter that can get over Madera and into Mariposa quickly. There is another Type 1 helicopter at Millerton, which is quickly overhead of any fires in Madera. And then the game changer from last year and will continue this year is the C-130 out of Fresno Airport. So that is on board now. We've been using that quite frequently. So from a preparedness standpoint, we are staffed, and then coming into June, we will have some additional staffing. But fire season is upon us, and we are responding every day. So thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
Thanks, Chief McComb. And just to add on a little additional, when we start talking about community resilience and all the efforts that are happening throughout the county, in Eastern Madera County specifically, with all the conservation districts of fire safe councils and all the planning that's going between private and public partnerships. This Thursday, we are interviewing for a new position. It's a deputy chief position for CAL FIRE, funded by the state, and the title of it is Community Risk Reduction. And what that position is really going to do is it's going to oversee our Prevention Bureau, which will encompass our law enforcement officers, as well as information and education, and getting the public a little bit more involved. They're going to be able to coordinate grant opportunities, as well as manage our vegetation management program. We only have 2 candidates that are interviewing for that. One of them is local to us, and the other is formerly local to us and currently works for our South region. Some additional things with that position is they'll also be our tribal liaison. putting an emphasis on what we have with our tribal partners, but then bringing that back to what true community risk reduction is and how to coordinate all of that. Some of you are familiar that the state of California recently got a program that we went into contract with called Vibrant Planet. I know Chair McCauley is knowledgeable in that. What it is, it's a planning tool that identifies areas of effort where we can put work to reduce the risk to communities or to infrastructure and so forth. So that's at the state level, and I know there's some opportunities for the private sector to also get involved with that, and we're looking forward to partnering with them. But this is a big win for this position coming to the area. 100% focused on community risk reduction and how to leverage every tool that there is available to the county and to the state. So we're very excited for that. We'll continue with our efforts, being prepared, getting our messaging. We're leveraging technology everywhere we can when it comes to public messaging. So if there's anything that we need to do for you with this new position comes to us, please reach out to myself or Chief McComb. That way we can put an emphasis on that. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you all for the presentation. That's some exciting news. Particularly when we talk about tribal engagement, I think there's just such a wonderful opportunity there to work with, those local jurisdictions on creating safer communities. So appreciate all the work you're all doing, as well as, the opportunity to create some awareness for wildfire safety. I also want to make sure the public is aware that on June 2nd, we will be on the road in Oakhurst, and immediately following our board meeting, we are going to have an open house with some of our partners in fire risk reduction. So that'll be the RCD, Yosemite Sequoia, Fire Safe Council. The county has opened our doors at the Oakhurst Satellite Office to create some working space for them so they can work more closely with their county partners, our staff. So a wonderful opportunity to hear from them what they are doing to help keep our communities safe and our forests more resilient. So I want to look to my colleagues for any comments, questions they may have. Seeing none, we'll look to the public for any public comment, either in the room or online.
None online?
Seeing none, we're going to gather up and take a little photo.
Are we ready? 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
All right, gentlemen, thank you once again. At this time, I want to invite up our Public Works team for a presentation. Proclamation recognizing May 17th through 23rd as National Public Works Week.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, Dominic Tyberski, Director of Public Works. I'm before you this morning to request approval of a proclamation recognizing the week of May 17th, 2026 as National Public Works Week here in Madera County. Since 1960, American Public Works Association has sponsored National Public Works Week during the third week of May. And this year's theme, Rooted in Service, Powered by Community. Rooted in Service reflects the everyday dedication of public works professionals who maintain the essential systems our communities rely on, from roads and water to parks, sanitation, and emergency response infrastructure. Powered by Community highlights the partnership between public works departments and the residents they serve, emphasizing that strong communities are built through collaboration, trust, and shared responsibility. The theme recognizes how public works employees are deeply connected to the neighborhoods they serve, often living and working in the same communities they help sustain and improve every day. It emphasizes resilience and preparedness, showing how public works teams keep communities functioning during emergencies, natural disasters, and critical events through dependable service and teamwork. Rooted in Service, Powered by Community also celebrates innovation and stewardship, acknowledging how modern public works combines skilled professionals, community support, and forward-thinking solutions to build safer, cleaner, and more sustainable communities in the future. I want to take this opportunity to publicly thank the many hardworking individuals who make up Madera County Public Works Department. Individuals who at times work 7 days a week, 12-hour shifts to ensure public safety during emergencies or natural disasters. Being on call, working late into the evening, or working in the elements during the cold of winter and the heat of valley summers is par for the course. In my humble opinion, the men and women of the Madera County Public Works Department are some of the hardest working folks in county service. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you, Dominic. I'd say not a week goes by where our Public Works team here in Madera doesn't go above and beyond the scope of their duties. And I think that's just a testament to the commitment of our Public Works team, their commitment to our community, and just, doing a terrific job. And these last couple weeks are no exception. So I do want to recognize and thank the Public Works team for assisting the Oakers Community Center in disposal of their old roof. And it's just simple things like this that help our communities keep turning, whether it's getting up at midnight to fix a broken system, or working with the community on community projects to make them work. So at this time, I want to look to my colleagues for any questions or comments they may have. Seeing none, we'll look to the public for any public comment they may have, either in the room or online.
None online.
Okay, seeing none, let's gather up for a photo, and I'd love to invite the rest of the Public Work team here in the room to join us.
Special place in my heart. I was the guy that held the plumb box.
Okay. Are we ready? Ready? 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3.
Here. 1, 2, 3. Perfect.
All right, so let's move on to item 8D.
Public Works Department Engineering Services Division, discussion and consideration of entering into an agreement with California High-Speed Rail Authority, State Agreement Number HSR 25-86, and a maximum amount of $440,000 to provide reimbursement for administrative and document review work performed by Public Works for the CHSRA project for a term ending February 29th, 2028, and authorize the Director of Public Works to sign.
Good morning, Mr. Chair, members of the board. Dominic Diversky, Public Works Director. Before you this morning to request approval of a cooperative agreement with the California High-Speed Rail Authority to provide reimbursement to Madera County Public Works for administrative and document review work for the next phase of the high-speed rail project. In 2012, the board approved the California High-Speed Rail Authority's preferred method for constructing high-speed rail facilities within county road rights-of-way. Under the approved approach, the authority handles all design and construction services while the county provides oversight throughout the project. This method ensures project continuity while maintaining county review and oversight responsibilities. The authority has requested a reimbursement agreement to cover county costs for the upcoming administrative and document review services for the next phase of the project. If approved, county staff will continue working with the authority, county council, and other departments and seek reimbursement for oversight costs incurred during the project. And I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Excellent. Thank you for that presentation. Any questions, comments?
Yeah, Mr. Chair, thank you very much. You know, this agreement is really important as people involved with the high-speed rail, at least in Public Works, knows that, you know, going beyond all the hype and so forth about the project in the macro, we have, you know, micro issues, so to speak. And that would be our overpasses that are being completed here in the county as part of our public works projects and so forth, part of the high-speed rail. And most recently, we've had a few meetings. And I know our public works department has had ongoing meetings, but we've been responding to public, I guess, concern about certain, the time it takes to complete certain overpasses. And one of those was Road 26, the overpass leading to the country club. And we've had a few meetings, and we were able to, they were really good and get some firm dates. In fact, I believe that most recently high-speed rail actually completed that overpass maybe a week early. They opened up on May 1st. I think they said they're going to open up on May 15th. And we have another meeting scheduled the first week or maybe the second week of July concerning some of the agreements, the maintenance agreements with some of the other overpasses. So we're moving along with that, but I appreciate staff and all their efforts in keeping things moving with high-speed rail and ensuring that they're doing their job. Thank you.
Absolutely. And we do spend a considerable amount of time on the high-speed rail projects, coordinating directly with them, as you mentioned, answering calls, troubleshooting concerns, issues. So this makes sure that we are made whole as opposed to the county subsidizing the state's project.
Excellent. Thank you for those comments. Any additional questions, comments from my colleagues? Hearing none, let's look to the public for any public comment they may have in the room or online.
None online.
Seeing none, let's bring it back to the board for action.
Move for approval.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Roll call vote, please.
Supervisor Poitras?
Aye.
Supervisor Wamhaugh?
Yes.
Supervisor Gonzalez?
Yes.
Chair McCulley?
Yes.
Vote passes 4-0.
Thank you. Let's move to item 8E, please.
Okay.
Public Works Department Administrative Services Division, discussion and consideration to adopt a resolution adopting a list of projects for fiscal year 2026 through 2027, funding from SB 1 Road Repair and Accountability Act of 2017.
Good morning. Thanks. I am before you this morning to request adoption of the proposed fiscal year 2026-27 SB 1 list of project as required to report to the state of California by July 1st of this year. The project list was developed utilizing the pavement management system paired with ADT values and regional importance. Additionally, staff works to attempt to distribute projects amongst the 5 supervisorial districts within the context of need. The county is projected to receive $8.7 million in road maintenance and rehabilitation account, also known as RMRA, funds in the fiscal year 26-27, which will be paired with CMAQ, congestion mitigation and air quality. That's a federal funding source. And the projects as listed in your packet include the purchase of California Air Resources Board compliant vehicles, general roadway maintenance, and a specified list of rehabilitation and bridge projects. And I'd be happy to try to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you, Dominic. Any comments, questions from my colleagues? Any public comment in the room?
Mr. Chair, I just have a question.
Yes.
Dominic, maybe you could explain how, maybe just a little bit more detail, how some of these projects are selected. I know sometimes you'll hear people from different parts of the district saying, oh, my district, you know, we're not getting the attention we need, and, and you know, you hear it all over. So maybe you could talk a little bit about how we have very limited resources and how these projects are selected.
Certainly. Well, from a roadway perspective, you know, we have a board policy that requires or directs us to focus primarily on arterials. So that's where we start. We look at the pavement management system. We look at the ADT, how important is that route to the, you know, local commuters. We look at, I'm sorry, I'm drawing a blank. We look at a number of factors, and we also look at the condition of the road, what those improvements might be needed to bring it up to standard, what the cost is. So we have to balance, you know, overlays with, you know, other rehabilitation treatments that might be a little less expensive. But primarily it's based on, you know, the importance of the route, the ADT, and what kind of condition is that roadway in. As you mentioned, we have very limited resources. Additionally, looking at the vehicles, there are state mandates that requires us to have, clean emission vehicles. And once we reach a certain threshold of mileage, or if it's an outdated vehicle, we are required to sell it to another state who can use it. And then we have to utilize these types of funds to repurchase newer, more modern, typically more expensive equipment to replace those.
Gotcha. Very good. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
All right, thank you for that question.
Yeah, Dominic, what does $8.7 million get us in practical terms? I know it's dependent on whether we're doing full depth reclamation or doing overlays or whatever. Like realistically, for the number of road miles that we have, what does $8.7 million get us?
Not a whole lot. If you're talking overlay or reconstruct, you know, 4 miles maybe. You know, but a rubberized chip seal or some of these other treatments, which are a lot less expensive, can be utilized. But again, you have to make sure you don't have base failure or other things going on that would make those improvements infeasible. So short answer, not a whole lot. So we try to be creative and make those dollars stretch as best we can. We also pair them with other funding sources when available.
So with having to change out our fleet out of this $8.7 million based on our mileage and what have you on our existing fleet, are we set to replace this fiscal year in this amount of SB1 dollars?
So within the packet, there is a list of vehicles that are going to be replaced in addition to, you know, a list of roads and bridges that we're going to be focusing on. So we are replacing a number of pieces of equipment, not all of them.
About how much of that 8.7 comes to replacing the clean fleet vehicles? Or, and I'm not asking for exact numbers, but is it like $1 million or?
To be honest with you, I don't have that number offhand, but I could certainly get that to you.
I just want to know how much of these mandates from Sacramento are not being funded, you know, separately for these vehicles. Because this is really for road maintenance, but they're forcing us to use these dollars to buy their super expensive clean energy vehicles when all we're doing is selling them to other states for them to use them.
Well, that is certainly true. You know, the gas tax dollars, you know, they do pay for the materials for roadway maintenance and reconstruction. They do also pay for vehicles, equipment. It also pays for staff salaries. So the gas tax dollars and the various funding sources we get are intended to encompass the entire cost of the public works effort. However, you are absolutely correct. We have perfectly good pieces of equipment that we cannot use because of unfunded mandates.
Always good to know when you're voting. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just wanted to piggyback a little bit and let the board know and the public know Dominic and Jared and Andrea and myself participated in a call last week with
RCRC representatives. And I think Supervisor Poitras was instrumental in getting that set up to talk just about this specific unfunded mandate and look towards their assistance to file claims at the state for this unfunded mandate. So we are researching and going with that. We're providing a lot of documents to RCRC, who's excited about the potential of filing that. How far we get, it's unknown at this time, but it's on not only our radar, but our partners up at RCRC to start pushing back on these unfunded mandates and filing formal claims on those.
And if they don't fund those claims, what happens if we continue using our vehicles? Like
We get fined.
So
Yeah, we get fined. Right. So more money out the door, basically. Yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, it was, when it was brought up at an RCRC meeting a few months ago, their question was, what county would be willing to participate in an effort like this to, test the waters. And, you've got to stand up somewhere. And this looked like a great opportunity for us to make a stand as a county against these unfunded mandates, especially considering that RCRC was going to be providing the legal team and the resources and things of that sort. Certainly, our time is going to be spent. There's going to be some resources spent and so forth on our end. But the fact that RCRC is leading the charge on this thing and they needed a test case, it's like, we need to stand up. So we might be the only county, I think, that volunteered to do it. And I'm saying, I don't care if there's no other counties, we're going to do it.
Yeah, Arthur Wylene's pretty good over there at RCRC. Did you have a comment, Supervisor? Thank you for that update. Appreciate it. And thank you for your involvement. Appreciate that as well. Any additional comments, questions from my colleagues? Seeing none, we'll look to the public for any public comment they may have.
None online?
Seeing no public comment, we'll bring it back to the board for action.
Move to approve.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Roll call vote, please.
Supervisor Wamha?
Yes.
Supervisor Poitras?
Aye.
Supervisor Gonzalez? Chair McCauley?
Yes.
Vote passes 4-0.
Thank you. Let's move to item 8F, please.
Behavioral Health Services Department, discussion and consideration of approval to issue a notice of termination for Madera County Contract Number 13164-25 with Turning Point of Central California, Inc., Hope House and Wellness Center for the contract to terminate effective July 18, 2026, and authorize the chair to sign.
Good morning, Sarah.
Good morning, Chair, Board of Supervisors. Sarah, Director of Public Health, but also helping out with behavioral health right now. A bit of background for you on this, and I know that we've communicated multiple times about the change in funding from the Mental Health Services Act to Behavioral Health Services Act, effective July 1st. On that date, we'll no longer be able to pay for prevention services like what is being provided currently by Turning Point at Hope House in Madera and the Mountain Wellness Center in Oakhurst. Over the course of the spring, we've worked closely with Turning Point to be able to identify alternate services that would be appropriate under Behavioral Health Services Act and paid through Medi-Cal. And as we kind of walked through that process, we were not able to find services that really fit the behavioral health population, and that's an important eligibility factor. And so we shifted to the grant proposal for the Innovation Partnership Fund and worked with Turning Point through that process, but they determined that they could not provide the deliverables that were needed with the available funding under that grant. Our plan for Mountain Wellness Center and Hope House is to continue to provide services that have some similarities, but also have some significant differences. We, of course, want to keep core services available at Hope House and Mountain Wellness Centers, such as laundry, the ability to shower, and certainly a connection point for social connection and connection to referrals for services. And so what we're doing, we talked about in the grant proposal agenda item that came last week, is we are working with our mobile health team and with the 2 drop-in centers to create kind of a system of responsiveness to our homeless population in particular through active referrals, assessments, as well as provision of services that are embedded both in behavioral health and public health. So we're looking at substance use disorder services, therapy, group therapy services out of these drop-in centers, as well as resilience programming. We do have a contingency plan if we don't get the grant, and it basically is the similar services, but we might need to start smaller. So we have staff that are able to be located at those drop-in centers to be able to keep them open. We do have staff who are funded to do resilience programming currently, and we also have staff that are funded through Medi-Cal on behavioral health side. So we will be able to do those things, but it'll be kind of a getting started version of that wraparound program with the mobile health team, as opposed to the full version of that system if we get funded through the grant. So regardless of whether or not we get the grant, the drop-in centers will be able to remain open. And we, of course, will pursue additional funding opportunities through Medi-Cal funding streams like community health worker benefit, as well as our other grant sources. The proposed action before you today is, unfortunately, we do need to move forward with terminating the contract with Turning Point, because we have explored all of our available options for being able to continue that contract or even transform it into something that we'd be able to fund, and that has not proven successful. The agenda item that was actually included and what was published was a draft letter, and I've provided the letter that I am proposing for your action today that is meets the requirement of 30 days notice, because we do have a change in funding source, and per the contract 30 days notice is required. But in working with Turning Point, they really wanted to be able to see through the contract to June 30th, which would be actually 42 days notice, and we're able to do that with current funding. I'm available for any questions.
Thank you, Sarah. I'm going to look to my colleagues for any comments, questions they may have. Seeing none, I do want to thank you for your work on this issue. It's we never want to have to take a step backwards, or we don't want to have to cancel contracts like this that have been, very successful for the community. So I appreciate you, looking at this through a creative lens, trying to figure out how we can, continue to move forward in providing these valuable services to our communities. So thank you for that. Let's look to the public for any public comment they may have in regards to this item, online or in the room.
None online?
Hearing none, let's bring it back to the board for action.
Move for approval. Second.
And Chair, I apologize, but does that motion include adopting the updated backup that was provided
Yes.
during today's and
Move for
available for the
approval
public?
and adopting the updated letter.
And second.
Thank you, Council.
Supervisor Poitras?
Aye.
Supervisor Wamha?
Yes.
Supervisor Gonzalez?
Yes.
Chair McCauley?
Yes.
Vote passes 4-0.
Excellent, thank you. At this time, we're going to jump forward to our public hearing, and we're going to look at 9A.
Human Resources Department hearing to report on the county's vacancy, recruitment, retention efforts in accordance with Assembly Bill 2561.
Good morning.
Hello, good morning. Chair, members of the board, Shanika Dixon, Director of Human Resources for the county. The purpose of this hearing is to provide a verbal report regarding the status of the county's vacancies and recruitment and retention efforts per Assembly Bill 2561. Very fitting since today is International Human Resources Day, so I want to recognize my staff. Just to give you some background, due to widespread job vacancies in local government, effective in 2025, there are new obligations that were put in place to address staffing vacancies in the public sector, requiring agencies to look at and track information on job vacancies annually at a public hearing before their governing board. All bargaining units were invited to participate and notified of the public hearing, and additional information is also going to be provided on for those units that have a vacancy rate at or above 20%. The chart you see in front of you provides vacancy details for the county's 13 bargaining units. The information is broken down by bargaining unit, number of budgeted full-time equivalent positions, number of staff for each unit, and number of vacant FTEs. full-time equivalent positions as well, along with the corresponding vacancy rates. And as you will notice, there are 2 units that ended 2025 with a 20% or higher vacancy rate, and I'll talk about those also in a few minutes and some of the efforts that we put forward to decrease that vacancy rate. And that was the mid-management unit, which is at 20.97, and the postgraduate licensed professional unit, PGLP, which is at 20%. So in order to break down the vacancy rate information just a bit further, it was necessary to evaluate some of the drivers of those vacancies that created those rates, such as retention trends and key details from those vacancies. So vacancies are tracked using the information that's provided to you on this slide. The first one, staffing growth. This can also be new positions that are sometimes added mid-budget year after budget adoption. Those would be those are creating some vacancies. Also, you can see that 43.30% of vacancies were attributed to internal promotions and transfers, which I think is great because that means that people are staying with the county. That's a really high number. 16.52% of those vacancies were attributed to voluntary separations, which is a decrease from the previous year, which we were at 41% for that specific section. The county's current turnover rate is about 11.8%, and our retention rate is at 88.2%. Now, the rule of thumb is to be at about, everyone desires to be at about 90%, so I would say that that's pretty strong for what's out there right now. Now, during our analysis, as I mentioned, there were 2 units that were identified that were at or above 20%. Mid-management unit was at 20.97, and PGLP was at 20%. So analyzing the recruitments of the vacant classification in these units, we were able to determine the number of applications received, qualified and eligible applicants. We also have to take into consideration when we talk about applications received, qualified applicants, and eligible applicants, they do not always, the number of applications received and the qualified do not always equate to eligible because that number may be reduced depending on who's eligible to move forward and actually be hired. So we may have received over 600 applications, but maybe only 400 of them were eligible to fill the position. And the same is to be said for the PGLP unit. There are also some positions that have just been historically really hard to fill, and that would be in our district attorney's office, some of the deputy district attorneys, child support attorneys. So we are aware that those just have historically been very difficult to recruit for, and that's one of the reasons why you see it listed as a continuous recruitment, because those recruitments are always open. There's also some positions in our mid-management unit, for example, like the social workers. Social worker 4s are typically also hard to fill. So with the continuous recruitment, there's no end date, and this is just for us to have a more proactive approach, and it helps us have a readily available talent pool, and it streamlines the process by reducing the time it takes to fill any open positions. So we like to keep those continuous for that reason. So in collaboration with the departments and the units, we have identified and addressed some of the obstacles. Of course, with your board's approval, we are always assessing recruitment and outreach methods to try to find out what's out there on the market and what's the best avenues to take to gain more interest. We have improved job descriptions, including amendments to minimum qualifications to better match classifications. We've also created some entry-level classifications aiming to support career progression into some of those hard-to-fill positions, specifically in our district attorney's office. We have a comprehensive compensation available here at the county, so compensation has been reviewed and some adjustments have been made. Department-specific intern programs, the district attorney's office does have an internship program for high school through college, and so we have gained some interest from that as well. Leave adjustments to support work-life balance, alternative work schedules. One other thing that I learned is that our district attorney, Moreno, and one of the county's senior deputy district attorneys periodically teaches an elective class at one of the local law school, which has generated some interest into the county from those students as well. And I also want to highlight one thing that I saw that was not mentioned to me more recently. I actually saw it on social media. We have a Citizens Academy that's put on, Citizens Academy, which is put on by the District Attorney's Office that allows people from the community to basically come and take some sort of a class to learn more about the District Attorney's Office and what the District Attorney's Office does. I think that's a great way to get the community involved, and word of mouth obviously works really well when it comes to recruitment, so they can tell their family, friends, people that they know what the District Attorney's Office does, with hopes that maybe they will gain some interest there. And I also am happy to report that the current vacancy rate for the mid-management unit is actually dropped down to 16.94. So as of today, it's under the 20%, and PGLP is at 16%, which is under the 20%. So some of these things seem to be working. Now, this is a brief summary on the number of recruitments that were opened in 2025. We had a total of 207 recruitments that were open. This is broken down by unit. The recruitment team does work diligently to get through all of the applications that are received. So we received 5,469 applications. There were 199 individuals hired, and also 4 department head recruitments, which are not included in this total, with 101 applications in addition to the 5,469. So in addition to addressing the specific obstacles for the 2 units identified, we continue to evaluate the county's recruitment procedures and activities regularly. The county adheres to a structured recruitment process, which includes a comprehensive analysis of job requirements and standardized application screening. By implementing a structured and compliant approach, the county ensures that we have a fair and competitive hiring process while attracting highly qualified candidates. And it's important that we continue to review recruitment strategies just to remain up to date with recruitment trend and attract strong candidate pools. So we do lean on other HR groups and other counties just to kind of gauge what everyone else is doing out there. So the following efforts have been taken to enhance some recruitment and retention overall here at the county, so not just specific to those units. We have targeted advertising and increased social media presence, so making sure that we get the word out for all of these recruitments. And we do have plans this year to work with our Director of Communications, hopefully to create some video content to put out on social media. I know our Sheriff's Office has some really good videos that their Director of Communications, Public Safety Communications has put out, and so we do see that there will be some value in that. We have revamped our HR website, so it makes it a little bit easier to navigate. County presence at career fairs. In 2025, we had 6 career fairs that we were able to attend, and this year we are already at 5. So we are just making ourselves more present out there. We offer a comprehensive benefit package and many promotional opportunities. As I mentioned earlier, over 43% of vacancies were attributed to promotions or transfers. So people are moving around but staying within the county. Some of the other things that we offer here for retention and recruitment, we have a comprehensive training and development program. In addition to department-specific training, we are part of a consortium, and training is offered to all supervisors and above on various topics every month. So we always send out our emails to the departments and encourage them to send their supervisors and managers to these specific trainees so that they can gain knowledge and in various areas. Options for alternative and hybrid work schedules, data collection and analysis. Vacancy rates are tracked on a monthly position report, and so we are constantly reviewing that information. The county is committed to a positive employee engagement and has programs in place to foster positive experiences for employees, such as a comprehensive onboarding program, which all of you have been part of our new hire orientation, which has been great. We promote a positive workplace culture by highlighting employee success. Just today, we had a proclamation recognizing public works. We have recognition for employees' years of service, for different programs, for individual employees, for some of the great work that they've done. County organized team building events such as lunch in the park, holiday lunches, some of the health fairs. We had our mental health fair more recently. I think it was last Tuesday or the Tuesday before. And then opportunities for staff involvement in county organized community events and activities. It's a great way to provide staff with a sense of pride for where they work. This is just an example of some of the professional recruitment brochures and some of the postings on social media. So we do post our jobs on multiple platforms. We just want to ensure that we are highlighting the county not only as a great place to work, but also a great place to live. As a matter of fact, one of the questions that I like to ask during interviews is, why do you want to work at the county? Or what interests you about the county? And more often than not, I hear a lot of people say that they either live in Madera or they lived in Madera, gone off to college or to school and want to come back and give back to the community that they were part of. And so they have a desire just to come back and work at the county. And this is exactly what we want here, someone who's invested in the county, invested in the community. And I do see that a lot when I participate in some of those recruitments. And also, one of the things I like to ask in new hire orientation is, how many of you are from Madera, or where did you hear about the position? And many of the individuals say that they either live in Madera or they know someone who works at the county, so that's great. That concludes the presentation, and the county remains open and committed to continuous collaboration with departments and bargaining units to support ongoing recruitment and retention efforts.
Thank you, Shanika. This time I'll look to my colleagues for any comments, questions they may have in regards to the presentation. Seeing none, was very informative. It was interesting to find out that the DA's office is doing a Citizens Academy. Thank you for sharing that with us. Appreciate that.
On Facebook.
Oh, you did see it on Facebook. That's great. This is a public hearing, so at this time we're going to open the public hearing, and we're going to look to the public for any public comment they may have.
None online.
Hearing none, we're going to close the public hearing, and we'll bring it back to the board for action? Or this is just a report, so no action?
This is just a report.
Okay, excellent.
What did you say today was, Shanika?
International Human Resources Day.
Excellent.
Thank you and your staff.
Thank you.
All right, let's move back to item 8G.
Oh, it's tomorrow? Sorry, it's tomorrow.
Perfect.
Well, happy pre-international HR.
Let us be the first.
Yes.
8G.
Morning, Joel.
County Administration Department, resolution establishing appropriations limit, discussion and consideration to adopt a resolution establishing an appropriation limit for the 2026-2027 fiscal year for the County of Madera, discussion and consideration to adopt a resolution establishing an appropriations limit for the 2026-2027 fiscal year for each and all of the County of Madera special districts.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, Joel Begay, County Administrative Office. Today, we're asking your approval of the two resolutions that approve our GAN limit calculations for fiscal year 26-27. Just a brief history, GAN limits have been a California constitutional requirement since 1981, and the Auditor's Office has been doing these constitutional limit calculations every year, and it's adjusted by a factor of price, which CPI-based, plus also population growth within the jurisdiction where the government limit is being set. The calculations for the general fund for the upcoming fiscal year, the limit is $137,416,245. And for collectively for all special districts of the county is $14,291,248. And while the budget has not yet been published, staff can assure you that we are well within the constitutional limits that's established by law. I also want to add that these calculations have been available at the Auditor's Office since May 4th. There is a requirement that it's available for the public to view 15 days from when the board adopts the resolution, and we meet that requirement. And with that, staff's available for any questions.
Thank you for that presentation. Do we have any questions, comments? Seeing none, we'll look to the public for any public comment they may have.
None online.
I'll move to approve items 1 and 2.
Thank you. We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Excellent. Roll call vote, please.
Supervisor Gonzalez?
Yes.
Supervisor Poitras?
Aye.
Supervisor Wamhaugh?
Yes.
Chair McCauley?
Yes.
Vote passes 4-0.
Thanks, Supervisors.
Thanks, Joel. Go ahead and move on to item 10A.
Board of Supervisors Department discussion and consideration to approve a letter of opposition to AB 2494 as introduced by Assemblymember Rogers regarding state forest and forest management.
Thank you, Chair Matt Traber, your CAO. Again, this is a letter in opposition to Assembly Bill 2494. I would point out that both CSAC and RCRC have taken positions opposing the bill as drafted. And so this has been written for the chair's signature to submit up to Sacramento.
Thank you, Mr. CAO. Yeah, when I look at this bill, it's just another example of the left hand not knowing what the right hand is doing. So you folks know I sit on the Governor's Task Force for Wildfire and Community Resilience, which takes a science-based approach to forest management, community hardening, these sorts of things. But this bill would require, our state forests to be managed with kind of a soft touch approach, very similar to the Range of Light initiative that was before us, I think, 2 years ago. So again, just very frustrating to see our legislator working, in theory, in opposition to, what our state agencies are developing, again, around best practices in science. So thank you to my colleagues for taking this item up. I'd be happy to, any comments, questions you may have. Hearing none, we'll look for any public comment.
None online.
We'll bring it back to the board for action.
Move for approval?
Second.
Motion and a second. Roll call vote, please.
Supervisor Poitras?
Aye.
Supervisor Wamhaugh?
Yes.
Supervisor Gonzalez?
Yes.
Chair McCauley?
Yes.
Vote passes 4-0.
Thank you. At this time, we'll look for supervisor and staff reports, and we'll start to my right with Supervisor Gonzalez.
Nothing to report, thank you.
Supervisor Wama?
Yes, I'd like to report expenditures from the district fund, exhausting the 25-26 district fund, in the amount of $500 to House of Barron. All of these are nonprofits. House of Barron is animal rescue. Peanuts Closet, which they've presented here in the past. They do charitable work for kids in foster care, get them clothes and beds and things of that nature. $1,000 to the Olive Foundation regarding human trafficking. $1,250 to Golden Valley Chamber. $1,500 to the Coarse Gold Rodeo Association, promoting that up there. $2,000 to the Rancho Senior Center and $2,000 to Rancho's. That's all I have.
Thank you. Supervisor Poitras?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd just like to mention a couple items. I last Wednesday had an opportunity to go to a graduation at the Juvenile Services Division run by probation. We had 3 cadets that graduated, and it's always great to see these young men go through the program. And I say young men because there's very few young women. The young men are primary residents there. So, anyway, it's a lot of resources are put into that, and it's great to see them come out on the other side and have opportunities for a great future. Also on Friday, I went to the ribbon cutting for the new 7-Eleven, and so those of you who love your Slurpees, there's another opportunity at $17 and $99. I went to the Olive Foundation Foundation fundraising event, and thanks again to Supervisor Wamhaugh for providing significant support for that event. And then on Monday, yesterday, had a chance to meet with Caltrans. I meet with them on a monthly basis through MCTC. We talk about various projects, 99, 233, but we also talked about and we've been talking about it for a while, the Doug Teal Chowchilla Airport issue that has been that's been kind of highlighted recently. And so Michael Navarro, I think he's received phone calls from about a dozen different sources, but he has now reached out to the Caltrans Aeronautical Division, and he says, yes, there is an aeronautical division of Caltrans. They have 8 employees and they have 2 planes. I guess they fly their planes around and, I don't know, look at freeways or highways or something, but he's arranging a meeting this week with the city of Chowchilla, Doug Teal, with the Aeronautical Division and himself to hopefully work out a solution for Teal to be able to conduct crop dusting services next month for his clients who will have bug pressure, primarily from the navel orangeworm. So with that, that's my report.
Do they also have like a maritime division as well?
Probably. I wouldn't doubt it.
Some
Yeah.
submersibles, there you go.
Their planes just fly their executives around, that's all.
Excellent. All right, Karen, anything to report?
No, just want to wish you happy 40th again.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
No report, Chair.
Thank you, Mr. CIO.
No report.
Thank you. Only thing I have to report is last Thursday, we had an Air District meeting. We talked about their budget. As we all know, the state's budget is not great, which means that trickles down to local opportunities for our farmers. So, you know, it's going to be a bumpy road over the next year, but I think it's going to be important that we as a group continue to advocate not only at Madera County, but as a valley collectively to support our farmers and our priorities. In addition, on Monday, we had our regional water management group met and discussed, of course, regional water management. With that, this meeting is adjourned.
Minute, and then